last 2 days. What's good, everybody? Your boy is back. I hope you all can hear us, see us. I am the coach. This is your daily sports and sports betting brand of record. We call it Driving the Line. And I've been on location, missed the last 2 nights, and we're killing it. 2 new people in the well, 2 new diamonds in the club, and my phone has been blowing up. But we've had a great time. We raised almost $2 million for golfer cops down here in South Florida. But this is about Tuesday. Now, everything blew up this morning. Technology is all over the place. Do you think that stops us? Hell to the no. We are still here. That's why we tell you all the time. Turn on your notifications. So when a show starts, whether it's live or not, you will be notified. Now, as always, last night the crew brought it strong. A lot of things happened with the Bengals 27-20. Our man AB, solid. So normally we'd call this like a ho-hum day, but as always, my man Charles coming through strong. West Ham, a late goal there to cash those tickets. Now, as always, you have your selection. This would literally be called an F day. All kinds of content. Turn on the notifications, subscribe. You also get the video if you're a premium member of DTL, the podcast. Now, today, as I mentioned, is an F day. Big time. The Howie Schwab crew play of the day. You can vote in the chat at the bottom. Michigan -4, Arkansas +4. John Calipari, welcome to the dance. Wisconsin or Illinois, put your vote in. We will reveal them later in the show. Now, I told you the last 2 nights have been absolute banana land, so maybe today should have been that way too. So, whenever we look adversity in the face, we come back 6 wide right here on the brand. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring in the entire crew. Just because everything isn't working doesn't mean we don't. Oh my! What an embarrassment of riches, ladies and gentlemen. And normally, you guys know me. I will take my lumps like a man. So first and foremost, let's just get this out of the way. Top right, live from Memphis, Tennessee, DG. Hello, sir.
Coach, I don't know what to tell you. Even when I don't have a voice, I'm still cashing those gems. But I had a little help this morning. And even though technology is a little broken, I want to share a picture of us, Coach. And producer, man, if you could help me out with this. Don't know if it's going to work today. Maybe it won't. If not, hey, well, there we go. I think that looks great. I remember our time so fondly. And just be careful of those gems, Coach. They might hit you in the face.
You know what's crazy is that may have been the very first time I was on WWE television. It might have been January 8, 2000, and I still look the damn same. You can't get me, DG. Although, tip of the cap. I could not believe it. We're at our post-show thing last night, and I looked down at my phone, just bup, 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 bup. You cannot be serious. Sure enough, how was CD Lamb over plus 1,000 anyway? That's what I want to know. What the hell are we talking about?
I don't know. It worked for me. I thought it was great.
It worked for me. Right. Next. He just continues to be a check mark absolute beast. Live from the Dirty. Big Chuck, what's good, man?
Morning, Coach, crew. Yeah, technology is something else. Yeah, we're fortunate enough to have a nice day. Congratulations to DG on yet another diamond. That makes that 3. I'm 2 behind, so I'm lacking also. So hopefully I can get my second on Thursday. But yeah, excited about today. We have Champions League and big weekend ahead.
Yes, we do. Now, next is our numbers guy. For a reason, and coming up in about 30 minutes here on the program, the odds are out. And they're also out of DraftKings on the conferences to win it all in the college football playoff. It's a very interesting discussion. Raphael, hello, sir.
Hello, good morning, Coach. Good morning, crew. And DG almost has more diamonds than J-Lo has, so he's catching up to Jennifer Lopez, so that's going to be kind of interesting. And I love, did anyone notice that DG kind of looked like DJ Watt, or one of the Watt brothers in that picture? He didn't look like DG.
All right, you're going to watch this back, Raphael, and you're going to hope the last 20 seconds of your life never happened. That was soupy level trash talk right there. Soupy level.
You're just jealous you have no diamonds, that's all.
Young Peyton, why are you laughing, son? We don't laugh at the man who runs this show.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make funny of you there, Coach. I'm having a great day today, though, guys. Come on now. So
It just gets worse. And finally, well, that's young Peyton, ladies and gentlemen, or King Lettuce, as you guys like to call him. And finally, he's got the best damn beard in the game. Soupy, if you have anything negative to say to me, just understand, I don't care if we're on a different platform. I will X you out in a heartbeat. Hello.
I hope you're enjoying your day, Coach. Hope the crew is enjoying their day. We've got finally it's bowl season, conference, championships. Everything's good. Everything's great.
That's even worse. That's even worse. All right, let's get into it. Last night, quickly, DG, the Cowboys, and I saw some of the reactions today. I was like, Mike McCarthy, what world are you living in? He was like, our backs are still against the wall. We've got to have some help. Your season's over. And when you don't have a quarterback that can successfully run a 2-minute offense, you don't have a quarterback. And last night, that was glaring at the end of the game. Cowboys done. Go.
Cooper Kareem Rush is not who we all wanted him to be. He did go on a 2-game win streak, though, but that just gave them false hope. And unfortunately, the season is over for them. There's no way they're coming back from that. But they played well enough. They too many dumb mistakes on the block punt, touching that. Leon let it alone, for God's sake. We're already hurting enough over all these years. So it was a bad night, but overall they played well.
It's one of those situations, Raphael, that if you're a Cowboys fan, you go, all right, we were in the game, but it's more of the same. It was more bad penalties at the end, allowing Jamar Chase to go down the sideline. Nobody touches him. It's just not a good brand of football.
No, it wasn't. If you want to see how the Dallas Cowboys season started and end, look at Micah Parsons at the end of the game. The way he reacted for the last, 5 to 10 minutes was the outcome of what the Dallas Cowboys are this season. I felt so bad for him. Granted, he was out for a while because of injuries, but you can tell he was still competing. You can tell he wanted to win the game. You can tell he had playoff implications to go. Watching his face on the sideline yesterday was really hard to watch.
It was, and they're locally. I know they always have more local coverage than national coverage. Young Peyton, you were there in the metro. What's it like there right now?
well, I was gonna go to the game last night, but good thing I didn't. That was terrible. And they are in terrible shape. And yeah, those first 2 wins, that 2-game win streak was an absolute fluke. And Cooper Rush is brutal out there. And to extend the game on a 4th and 7, how do you throw the ball 10 feet over a tight end's head? I mean, what are we doing? So
What
I
are
don't
we
know.
doing?
And yeah, like Raphael said, Micah Parsons showed it all really at walking to the locker room by himself after the game. Terrible ending.
And at least you could have said in the skybox or the level box, Soupy. Young Peyton could have said with the boom and doom guys. The Costco guys are everywhere, and they were at the game last night. That should have told Cowboys fans all they need to know. Soupy, your take.
Yeah, this was just. I'm looking at the Micah Parsons things. He has had trouble with this team all year. He said a lot of stuff on his podcast. He's one of those guys that hasn't gotten paid yet. I think this might be his last season with the Cowboys, along with Mike McCarthy and that coaching staff. You can't necessarily blame them because of playing with Cooper Rush and a lot of the injuries. But this has just been a continuing sort of just let down season after what they try to build. And I think it is time for the whole organization to move on and try to rebuild.
All right, very good. Can everybody hear me okay? Am I good?
Yep.
Yes?
Yep.
Producer man, give me a thumbs up. Are we good now? All right, we're good. Producer man is furious today. You don't want to mess with producer man today. I'm telling you that much right now. All right, let's get into our picks. Let's get on our plays. We got to go 5 wide. We have about 6 minutes to do it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Big Chuck, I'm coming over to you because we got Champions League today, and I am fired up because you continue to slay the pitch. Start us off.
Yeah, the Champions League, Atalanta and Real Madrid. This is a rematch of the Super Cup finals that we had in August, where it ended 2-0. I'm expecting a different outcome today, with the both teams to score an over 2.5. With Atalanta averaging 3.1 total goals at home, and Real Madrid averages 1.8 goals on the road. So, and plus, we're going to go with Atalanta first half team total over half a goal, with the Italians averaging 1.6 first half goals at home. Then next, Club Brugge and Sporting. I like the Belgium outfit as a dog against the struggling Sporting squad, and I have them to score a first half goal, as well as they average 1 first half goal at home this campaign.
Day soccer, 2 of our favorite words here at the brand. And Charles has been slaying it. I love those. Both of those games start at 3 p.m. Eastern time this afternoon. All right, DG, coming right up to you. 2 big plays. Let's go.
Yeah, we got the NBA Cup tonight. I'm going to go with centers, both to pass the ball. Isaiah Hartenstein over 3.5 assists. It's at -130. 4 straight and 4+ in 5 straight games. Dallas is terrible. They're bottom 5 against assists allowed to the center position. So all we need is 4 assists from our guy, Isaiah Hartenstein. Then we're going to go with my favorite guy, my OG, Derek Lively, over 1.5 assists at -113. He's had 2+ assists and 74% on the season. And then OKC is another bottom 5 team in assists allowed to the center position. So we're going to go with both of our centers today. And Lively, 2+, nice at 113.
I wonder if Lively would say the same about you. Who?
He knows me. He knows me.
All right, now it's rare that soup and salad get along. But as you can see on the screen, today there's a little simpatico. Soup, coming to you first. What do you like today, big boy?
Mavericks already beat the Thunder, and it's strange to see them at a 4.5 dog. But that was Luka. Luka is playing now. What they did was they were able to aggressively shoot the 3 and draw the foul. Thunder are 21st in opponent foul per game. So I think they could win this game, no problem. And now we're going to go to the ice. Avalanche. They have revamped their entire goalie unit, but that offense is still good. Playing the Penguins, who are last in goals allowed, last in shots on goal allowed. I think this game is going to go over just because of the transition for Colorado and their goalies. I think there's going to be a lot of scoring.
Yeah, you mentioned Luka. I thought you were on hookah there for a second with those two picks. DG, I can't ever look at you because I've got to be a pro.
I'm always laughing.
Yeah, I know. All right, King Lettuce King. You got all the nicknames, big boy, and I know you got the picks today. You're also on that Mavericks game, but you like 8 total. Let's start right there.
Yes, sir, Coach. I'm going Mavericks Thunder points total over 231 at -112. These are the two best offenses in the West when they're healthy. The Mavericks have been shooting the ball well during their last 7-game win streak, so they're feeling good. I also like the Thunder scoring the rock in their own building. We're going to see both of these teams trading a lot of buckets tonight. Also, I'm going to go to the ice just like Soupy. I'm going to take Minnesota Wild to cover the puck line at -1.5 at +210. The Wild are coming off a rough 4-1 loss in LA against the Kings. They're 11-2-3 on the road, where the Utah Hockey Club is 4-5-2 at home. I'm also going to point out that I will fade the heck out of the Utah Hockey Club until they find themselves a team name.
Oh, a little added play, a little hashtag, it pays to watch live, or what do you call it, Big Chuck?
Stay on your toes.
Stay on your toes. Hashtag stay on your toes. That little stay on your toes play, King Lettuce. All right, we've got less than 2 minutes. The timing, next level hosting. What a shock. My numbers guy, Raphael, coming over to you. Bring it home, kid. Let's go.
I'm going to one of the best college football games you will watch every year, the Army-Navy game. And I'm going Army team total touchdowns over 2.5 at even money. They've hit this 6 out of 8 games. And you know what, Coach? You know what, viewers? It's not going to rain. It's not going to snow, which always rain or snows in this game. It's supposed to be in the 40s, maybe even 45 degrees. I think we see a bunch of touchdowns from Army in this game because no weather will be involved. And give me the Greek freak in the NBA, over 46.5 points, rebounds, and assists. His last 3 games, he scored over 30 points. And you know what? In those 3 games, double-digit rebounds. I think he crushes this number tonight. I like the Greek freak tonight, total points, rebounds, and assists.
Real quick, DG, you're down there in NBA City. Or is the NBA into this NBA Cup now? Because now we're into the knockout stages.
Yeah, I think everybody's been into the NBA Cup, whether it's the qualifying games or right now. Like right now is where you're going to see playoff basketball mid-season, and I think that's the most important thing you can look at is teams are bought in, but also the fans. As long as the fans are being bought in, I think we'll get good content tonight.
I agree with you. I think tonight's going to be really, really fun to watch. We'll stay active on social media, and also let's get rid of those stupid floors. I'm done with the stupid NBA Cup floors. They hurt my eyes. All right, we're just getting started. You cannot stop us from producing a show every single day. Best crew in the business. Still to come, it's never too early. Take a look ahead to a big week, and I mean a big week in the NFL. And also, it's time for a little soup or salad. What will the boys bring to the table today? It's Young Peyton. It's Soupy. Coming up in about 20 minutes. It's DTL. It's a Tuesday, and it's a vibe. Welcome back, everybody, to DTL on a little different kind of a Tuesday. Tell you all the time. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're also every single day at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. You can watch our glorious faces on all of the Stadium apps, Amazon Prime Video, DirecTV, YouTube TV, Roku TV, etc., etc. Today, a little bit different, but you guys have found us, and we thank you very much for that. Now, we have gone 6 wide today. And Tuesdays, we always take a look ahead because you can always get the right number. Half points matter. Single points matter. So, producer man, this is what we're looking at on Thursday Night Football. And Raphael, let me start with you because I'm a little bit surprised that with the way the 49ers have played, and I know they beat the Bears by a lot on Sunday, but a favorite over the Rams, and the Rams just beat the Bills. Let's start with this one. Your thoughts?
Well, the 49ers opened up as a 3-point favorite in this game. It quickly got dumped down because I think the way the viewers watched the Rams play, they're like, hey, I'll take the +3 right now. We'll probably see 2.5 the rest of the week, and I think this drops down to 2. I think the bettors will continue to come on to the Rams because everyone knows what you see last is what you bet first. And so they're probably going to see the Rams because how they looked on TV last week. Yeah, the 49ers beat the Bears, but a 6 in the crew can beat the Bears right now. So I think money will continue to come in on the Rams. So if you're looking for a Rams better number, grab it now because it won't be there.
Interesting. DG, I'm a little bit surprised that Raphael would say this, but I also have to remember that week to week, you just never know. The fact that the Rams put up 44 points against the Bills, to me, those are alarm bells for the Bills, but also for the 49ers. Am I missing something?
I don't think you're missing anything, but I love the Rams in this spot. If you give me them at plus money just overall, I think this is a great spot to take them. Plus, San Francisco just lost another running back, I would assume, because Patrick Taylor should take the lead back there position. And so at that point, what are we in the 4th running backs in 2-3 weeks? Like it's kind of weird there in San Francisco, but I love this team and led by Matt Stafford and also Puka Nacua, who's the best wide receiver in the game right now. I think the Rams really roll against the 49ers.
Reminder, we will be live Thursday night with DTL Primetime Live counting down to this game. Big Chuck, let me come over to you because you love your self-totals and you're really good at finding hidden spots. Does last week's results, because the 49ers scored almost 40, the Rams scored 44, does that wet your whistle a little bit?
Love the over in this one. I also like the 49ers in this spot. Everyone's, of course, going to be on the Rams. Last thing they saw, they beat the Bills. But I think the 49ers in this spot, plus Shanahan is pretty much on McVay. Well, he's 10-5 lifetime against him in the regular season. I definitely love points. I love the 49ers in this spot. I love team totals. I think we see plenty of props in this one, Juwan Jennings and company. So, yeah, 49ers in the over for me, Coach.
Soupy, what about fantasy? Because explain to the people at home, because this is every league is different when they start their playoffs and whatnot. Are we getting close to the last regular season week in fantasy?
This is actually going to be your playoff week in fantasy, depending on how many teams you have. Some of you might have buys, but some of you might be playing this week. So this is traditionally the start of the playoffs.
And this game would...
I think that I am sticking with Puka Nacua. I had Puka Nacua and Josh Allen, and I went against Jamar Chase last night, and I just sat and relaxed. I think this is going to be a high
till 11 a.m. Then I'll check out.
I think we're going to have.
Did you guys hear that? Did you hear that?
Yeah,
You heard me yell at housekeeping. That's how this day is going. Sorry, Soupy. Continue. I thought I turned my mic off. Damn it. All right, go ahead, Soupy.
Sean McVay and Mike Shanahan know each other so well, and that's going to be the interesting part of this game. That's why I think it's going to be a very close and intense game. I would like to lean to the Rams money line, but I think I'm going to take them getting the 2.5 right now, just because these two teams know each other so well.
Young Peyton, I see you shaking your head down there. What do you agree with?
I agree with Soupy on the 2.5. I think it's going to be a really close game, although I do like the Rams at the plus money as well, just because of how great Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp have been moving around, and Stafford threw the ball really well last week, and they looked great against the Bills. The Bills are a great football team, and the Rams showed that they can handle them. The Niners showed that they can handle the Bears, but, I mean, come on. Anyone can handle the Bears.
By the way, does anybody else, can I just say that we're on a new platform today? Shout out to producer man for making it happen on short notice. I like seeing your faces right next to the screen. Do you guys like that? I kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I think it's pretty cool. All right, producer man, I need to see the other games that we are looking forward to this week. This is a pivotal game. And I'm telling you right now, for the Buffalo Bills, Big Chuck, they have to rebound. I can't believe they lost last week, scoring 42 points. But there you see it right there at the top. It's a late game. It's 425. The Lions are the favorite. This could go a lot of different ways. But Charles, to me, this is the best Lions spot I've seen all year. You?
I have to respectfully disagree. I think this is a Bills spot and plenty of points for the over. I think the Bills were possibly looking ahead against the Rams to this Lions matchup. So loving the Bills in this spot. Their team total, high scoring game. Look, we have a 54.5. I believe that's the highest of the season. So many different ways you can go, but when it comes down to it, Bills, the plus 1.5 in the over.
DG, there's so many reasons I feel this way. I'd like to respectfully disagree. Shut it, Charles. I'm not in the mood today for disagreements.
I don't know if I've never respectfully disagreed with you, Coach. I just disagree just overall. But I will say I'm in the playoffs in my fantasy football team, and I love that this matchup is just sitting there because I, like Soupy, have Josh Allen and Puka Nacua to lead my team. And honestly, this is a great matchup just for Josh Allen. I love this overall, and I love this game. It'll be a game that I play props on, but honestly, it's not a game that I would pick either side. I just want to root for points all day.
You know, I love that take. And Young Peyton, the props and the prize picks that you and Soupy would be able to do in this game is just endless. But we saw last week Josh Allen ran for 3 touchdowns. He is now doing anything in his power to will his team. And that loss, I wonder how they emotionally bounce back, flying all the way out to LA and now another road trip back to back.
Yeah, they're gonna have to step up, and yeah, you're right. I think it's gonna be good more than for Prize Picks plays this week, and not as much for my fantasy team though, because those guys are long gone, and they've been gone for about 4 weeks. But yeah, unfortunate fantasy year for me. It's okay. I like points being scored in this game. Just Jahmyr Gibbs, Josh Allen, guys like that running the ball. James Cook's also been running the ball really well. So look for running backs in this game as well.
Yeah, Shakir has been fantastic too. Soupy, let me come right over to you because whether it's props or whether it's a total, to me, maybe I'll die on this ledge, but the books have actively this year, I think, responded to what happened last week because the Bills just gave up 44 points. 44 points and have 2 straight road trips, but yet they're almost even money. To me, this is a great line spot.
This is a great spot for the Lions, but this is important for the Bills. It's important for both teams because they're vying for a seeding. Right now, the Bills, I don't think they have to worry about trying to get that 1 seed. They have to try to keep the 2 because the Pittsburgh Steelers are right behind them now. So they don't want to keep dropping down and have to play more road games. This is an important spot for the Bills. I am going to take the under on this total. I think sometimes I expect to see big scoring games and we don't see them. And I think we're expecting that in this one, but I think it's going to fall short.
That does tend to happen sometimes. That's the only thing that scares me just a little bit. Raphael, let's then morph. You just talked about the Eagles and the Steelers. Well, the Steelers have another proving ground game, as I like to call it, this week. But they're catching the Eagles in all kinds of controversy despite the long winning streak. Is this the best spot the Steelers could have possibly imagined when they have to go to Philadelphia? And now they're the only team one back of the Chiefs.
Yeah, I like the Steelers in the spot because they're going to Philly with the housewives in the locker room of the wide receivers yelling at everybody. So if you're Pittsburgh, just play defense and you'll be okay in this one. A little shocked at the number at +5. I made my number around 3.5, 4, and I thought it was going to be a little bit high, just the way Pittsburgh plays on the road. Their defense that plays on the road. +5, I think, is a lot of good value on this one. And even 42.5, I thought that's a low number. This is not the Pittsburgh Steelers we've seen in the past where they barely score. They can put up 30+ points in a blink of an eye. And I think the Eagles offense kind of wants to show that, hey, last week was last week. We played against our opponent, the Carolina Panthers. I think they're up for this game. This one wouldn't shock me if it goes over to 42. And I'm going to bounce back on the Bills. It's already 55. The highest total we've seen this year was 56. We could surpass that.
Wow. I cashed on the Panthers last week. I said right here on the Sunday morning show, I said, the Panthers are playing better. I said the Eagles have to prove to me they can cover 2 touchdowns. It kind of feels the same way. DG, this feels like a fantastic teaser spot for the Steelers. It's a weird number, but if you take it in a teaser, now you're getting 11 points, and I don't see a universe that the Steelers lose to the Eagles when I think they could win this game on the field.
The Steelers are a team that has revenge. They have a win they need to get. And I think that the Eagles, there's so much happening behind the scenes that could come into account for how they're playing this week. And so I love a teaser spot. I honestly like the Steelers just overall, and I'm not scared to take them on the money line here this week.
Interesting. Young Peyton, let me come over to you. We've only got about a minute and a half left, guys. The Eagles right now, despite this long winning streak, do they appear vulnerable to you in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, they do. They only beat the Carolina Panthers by 6. I mean, that was an interesting game and a lot of not much offense as we were expecting in that game from the Eagles. So with the Steelers defense, they're going to hold them to a low score. I like a low scoring game here, and I like the +5 for the Steelers.
Big Chuck, your reaction to that? Do you like low scoring here in Philadelphia?
I would look at the low scoring game, but I kind of like the Eagles in this spot. But if you do like the Steelers, this is a perfect teaser spot. That way you get them through those key numbers of 7 and 10 and get a little bit meat on the bone if you like the under to get that up to 48.5.
So many good games this week. And I like the fact, guys, that they are spread out. I like the fact that we've got teams from different conferences, from different divisions, but they all matter. We'll talk later on in the week on the Packers and the Seahawks, as well as the Seahawks continue to play really good football that nobody else is talking about. All right, we're only about halfway through a very interesting Driving the Line. Remember, we air at on all the stadium apps, pulled a soupy, at 3 p.m. Eastern time, and also you can watch on demand. There's never been a better day, a more important day to turn on your notifications, and every time we start any content, your phone, your iPad, your computer will ding, and you'll say, there goes that DTL crew. All right, coming up next, it's turning into the biggest rivalry in all of sports betting. It is soup. It is salad. It is next on a Tuesday, DTL, and we're live. Welcome back, everybody. We have passed the bottom of the hour here on DTL. It is a Tuesday. I am the coach, and we have gone 6 wide today on a very interesting technology day. But when you commit to being here, you got to be here, or at least try no matter what. Now, the odds came out last night, and I need to see all of my guys on the screen, please, because, Raphael, you always take care of us. And I'm going to come to you first, and these are live on DraftKings, but you always bring them to us first. And those are the odds for conferences to win the college football playoff. We're going to have a week and a half to dive in so many different ways, but this is the first day we have a chance to look at this. And when you look at the conferences, Raphael, the Big Ten at -115 is the betting favorite to win it all with Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, and Indiana. SEC +150, Notre Dame +900, and then the ACC with 2 teams at +1,800. What did you make of these odds as you were kind of going through them?
I mean, if you look at it, Big Ten should have probably been a little bit bigger favorite, but boy, the path that Oregon has is just horrendous to me to make them a bigger favorite. I can't believe I'm going to say this, and probably Seabass is going to fall off his chair somewhere. There's value of the SEC in this one, because I think Georgia has an easier path because they have to play the winner of Indiana and Notre Dame. And then, so to me, man, it hurts me to say this, but I think the easier path is the SEC than Big Ten, just because of the path that Oregon has to come on.
I have a lot of respect, DG, for Joe Klatt. He calls the big noon Saturday games with my guy, Gus Johnson. Worked with him, not a better dude in the universe. Joe Klatt never says anything controversial. He never goes after anybody. But he went after, on his own show, podcast, whatever, this college football playoff committee. And the fact that the road that Oregon has potentially is banana land. And they're the number 1 seed. They would potentially, DG, have to beat Tennessee or Ohio State, Texas, and then Georgia in the final. Make that make sense, which is why I think, despite that, though, the Big Ten, because they have 4 teams, make all this make sense for me.
I still like the Big Ten here to come out victorious, but that's because Indiana plays in that conference, coach. No, I'm kidding. But if you look at this, Oregon gets a bye week as they get a tough matchup. So imagine playing Ohio State, Tennessee, and then you have to go into Oregon the next game. That's going to be very, very tough. And I know people haven't really thought too far in advance on that, but having to play a tough game and then go right and play one of the toughest, if not the toughest game of the season, that is going to be hard on these young kids. And so I still think that Oregon has an advantage just because that first game is going to be a knockdown, drag out fight between Ohio State and Tennessee. I still think the lead position still has to be Oregon here.
It should be. I was trying to dig deep as we were getting ready to do this topic today, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do feel like when it comes to college football, the committee, once they make a decision, they go, oh, wait a second, now we got to make it right. It feels like to me that they put this together because of all the venom that Alabama didn't get taken over SMU. And they said, okay, well, the SEC got screwed, so to speak. I don't believe that. So let's make their paths a little bit easier. But I even saw like Sark wasn't completely happy with Texas being on the same side of the bracket as Oregon. Did you have any issues, and do any of these numbers play into your take on this?
No, not necessarily. I think that it's the first year of this 12-team playoff. They're going to figure things out. I think what they wanted to do is they didn't want to have Georgia and Texas play each other again, possibly in the second round. So that's why they divided them up, and they had to think of it that way. And they wanted Indiana and Notre Dame, the Battle of Indiana, to play in that first round. I'm going to go chalk. I like the Big Ten mainly because I like Ohio State. They lost to Oregon, and if Will Howard slid 2 seconds earlier, Ohio State had a chance to win that game, and they lost to Michigan, their biggest rival. I still think they have overall one of the best offenses in the country, one of the best defenses in the country. I think they could have the best chance to win, in my opinion.
If you're tuning in for Soup or Salad, we'll be doing that coming up in about 4 or 5 minutes from right now. But young Peyton, let me come over to you because as you dig in, if Ohio State beats Tennessee, because that plays into how you bet this as a conference betting. So if Ohio State wins, then they're going to be guaranteed a team in at least the semifinals. That should help just a little bit in your mind, no?
Well, I'm just going with Oregon to win this thing, Coach. I mean, that's why I'm going with Big Ten. And also, here's another topic here. Why is Texas favored to win the national championship just up there with Oregon? I think on DraftKings, them and Oregon are both plus 360. How many times do we need to see Texas lose to Georgia, especially to Georgia's backup quarterback? What are we doing?
So are you now producing the show that you want to take a right-hand turn? Are you good with that? You want me to go there?
We can go there if you want.
Okay.
Let me
Charles,
know
let me
when
come
I
to you.
did.
I'm going to ask you Peyton's question. Why is Texas in the same number as Oregon, and do you have an issue with Texas? That's from Peyton in the audience.
They're going off Texas regular season, obviously, and I mean I don't have a problem with it. Texas were dominant unless they play Georgia, so I have no fault with that. But I do think that the SEC could be the fly in the ointment that could cause a stir in this tournament. They could definitely win, especially Georgia if their quarterback gets healthy down there in that spot. And the road that Oregon has to take, it's not kind. So yeah, I think the SEC could definitely stir up a little mess with this tournament.
So let's take a look at maybe a long shot, Raphael, because nobody's talking about Arizona State. And they have arguably been the hottest team of these 12. They are blowing people out. They get a bye. They are, let me look, plus 6,000 worth of sprinkle.
Yes, and the books don't want Arizona State because they're in a negative if for some odd reason Arizona State wins it all. But I'm going to educate King Lettuce right now on how odds actually work. They are the favorite, Texas, because money coming in. Money coming in makes the numbers move. Oregon gets no action whatsoever in any sport. They're probably one of the least bet powerful 5 team names when it comes to betting action. Texas, hook them up or hook them down, but money comes in all the time on Texas.
Wow, Peyton, do you feel like you kind of got spanked over there a little bit?
Well, I mean, all I got to say is horns down. I mean, I'm going. Texas is not not pulling this one out. That's all. I just think Oregon is dominating college football right now.
We got to work on your responses to the trash talk, because that would not have been I'm going to go with Texas horns down. That would have been, let me tell Raphael about how I look at the odds in Peyton Land, in King Lettuce Land. That's how I would have started if I was. But hey, I'm not you. I'm not you. We'll work on that. Soupy, let me come over to you. And then I will come to DG. And then we've got to get to soup or salad. Am I crazy to sprinkle a little bit, not only on Arizona State, but Boise's getting zero love at plus 7,000 coming out of the Mountain West?
It depends on how these running backs go. I mean, Cam Scatterbo, we saw him go for 200 yards in that Mountain West Championship. He went nuts. And of course, Ashton Gentry is not going to win the Heisman, but he had an incredible season. If they can find a way to just take over these games like they've done in the regular season, but against a bigger level of competition, yeah, why not? They're worth a sprinkle.
DG, why is this thing so top heavy when it comes to discussions, when it comes to odds, when it comes to all of it? Because I may put a little bit down, plus 6,000, plus 7,000. All Arizona State would have to do would be get hot for 3 games, or Boise State for 3 games. They both have a bye.
This is where the Cinderellas come in. And that's what you can look at is if there's a big enough number out there, it's worth a sprinkle for sure. But I'm also looking at Indiana and Notre Dame. Whoever comes out of that game, you're probably going up against a Georgia team who's good and they're decent, but they're probably going to be playing with a backup quarterback. I don't know if I would favor Georgia over Indiana or Notre Dame in that second game, because I think both those teams are going to be hotter than a Georgia team with a backup quarterback, because I don't see any way that they can keep Carson Beck playing that game.
Also, Notre Dame at some point is going to have to figure it out, because the committee is going to have to change it to seedings based off rankings, or they will never get a bye. They are just not eligible to get a bye, and that's a severe disadvantage. All right, we got about 3 minutes left in the segment, and you guys know on Tuesdays, you come, many of you, for one very simple reason: a budding rivalry that is growing right between our very eyes. Now, technology is screwing us out of the great open that AB created, but it's time for soup or salad. So I need to come over to you, Soupy. You're the OG. You won last week, so you told me many times this week, Coach, make sure I go first. You got a minute. Go.
Well, in order for it to be a rivalry, he needs to actually win. I'm starting with Luka over 3.5 threes, more than 3.5 threes. He's hit this in his last 2 games against Oklahoma City from last year's playoffs, and he's also hit this in 3 of his last 4. I said that they need to shoot the 3 in order to beat Oklahoma City. Giannis, MVP right now. But going against a tough defense, Orlando, they are top 4 in points, rebounds, and assists allowed to the power forward. And going to the ice, Sam Bennett, Florida, incredible offense right now. Bennett is sort of the point guard of that team. He has a assist in 4 straight and 12 of his last 14. That's how good he is right now. Give me the more than 0.5 assists.
Listen to you using the correct language, more than. All right, King Lettuce. Not only do you have to respond, you've got to stay laser focused. 1 minute to you. Go.
To get myself back on the map, I'm going with a demon pick tonight, and it's going to be Jalen Suggs, more than 24.5 points. Paulo Banchero's been hurt for the Magic, but now with Franz Wagner out as well, Suggs is going to have to be the primary scorer for them for the time being. And the Bucks also have been having trouble allowing points to point guards, where they allow 28 points a game, the most in the NBA. I'm also going to go with SGA, more than 30.5 points. He had 36 against the Mavs in Dallas the last time they played a few weeks back. Tonight he's in his own building, and there's no one on the Mavs roster who's going to stand a chance defensively against him. I'm also going to go with Klay Thompson, more than 12.5 points. Klay's coming off a 20-point game against Toronto, where he shot 50% from the field, and Luka finds ways to get him open. With Luka playing, he's averaging 14 points a game, and without Luka, he's only averaging 6. And Luka's playing tonight. I like Klay knocking down some open looks.
You heard about the time I played golf with Klay Thompson? You weren't part of the crew yet. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Year and a half ago. Sunk a 50-footer, courtesy of JJ. JJ's my... Anyway, I'll talk about it later. All right, so those are the prize picks. And you need to tell me in the chat, Who you back more, Soupy or Salad? And of course, we'll look at the results coming up tomorrow. Still to come, man, this show is flying by. Maybe 6 wide is the way to go. Reactions coming out of New York City, Venom, but maybe not as much as out of Philadelphia. It's Tuesday, it's DTL, and it's a 5. Welcome back, everybody, to DTL. You can watch us every single weekday, 3 p.m. Eastern, on all the stadium apps, Amazon Prime, DirecTV, YouTube TV. Today, a little bit different, but we appreciate you guys' patience with us. Sometimes technology knocks everybody on their ears. But we got 2 big topics today in Educate and Entertain. And DG, I want to start with you because it's been a topic for 3 days. But I don't think that even Juan Soto could have predicted the venom that is coming out of New York City. There are Yankees fans everywhere posting videos. It's F-bombs everywhere because when you look at the money and the fact that he chose the Mets in a really hard National League over the Yankees when it was basically the same money, and I don't want to hear, it was an extra $20 million. We're talking about over $700 million. Does the reaction this strong surprise you, DG?
No, it's New York. What do you expect? Like, these guys are crazy. These fans are crazy, which makes it good half the time. But the other half the time, this is what you get. And so there has to be a world where he knew that, hey, this is going to get a little bit crazy. Some teams are going to be pissed off. Some fans are pissed off. But in the end, he chose the money. He did not choose the team that he wanted to go to and set himself up. He chose the money. And so at this point, you kind of have to live with it. I do think there's some outs in his contract that do benefit him long term, but overall, I do think he ended up chose the money, and these are New York fans. You can't expect anything less.
Shuby, I saw one video, and you're one of our Northeast guys. You're up there. You're feeling it. And I saw a video where a guy actually went out to Citi Field to show the neighborhood around Citi Field, which is awful. If you've never been there, then you guys don't know. It's awful. The fact that this guy chose that over an American League where if you look at how they got to the World Series this year, it was very easy. It could be that way every single year. I have no idea why he would choose, just from a competitive standpoint, the National League.
So I'll back off of DG. 5 years, he can opt out of this contract, but the Mets can buy it back in. And with that, he gets $806 million. So that's another reason for him to stay and for the Mets to keep him. I'm a Yankee fan. I'm not necessarily bitter about it because $760 million is a lot of money. Now the Yankees can use that, possibly try to get Corbin Burns, Max Free, try to get Cody Bellinger and Alex Bregman, revamp the team in other way. Juan Soto, yeah, they won to the World Series last year, but they had a lot of struggles during the season to get there. I think they need other pieces to patch them up. I actually think this is going to benefit them in the long run because they're going to get better players and surround that team with a better roster.
I would probably back you up on that, but there's no salary cap here. And the Yankees are fully able to do exactly what the Dodgers did. They both have networks that are worth north of $3 billion. So they just didn't want to spend money. They could do all the stuff you talked about and take Juan Soto. Now, Raphael, quickly, we've got venom in New York City. Let's go down the Jersey Turnpike because right now the Eagles on a long winning streak, but they barely got by the Panthers. The week before, didn't play very well. There's a lot of discord between, allegedly, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. Do you think it hurts the Eagles? Big game this weekend.
It does, and I'm a big believer that wind calmed the locker room. But when a wide receiver starts complaining with the biggest divas in the NFL, not quarterbacks, but wide receivers, I kind of push it aside, but it's the Eagles. We all saw last year when the wheels fell off. There's a little bit spark in that locker room, which I don't understand because last time I checked, they have W's coming in week after week after week. So this one just shocks me, but I'm pushing it aside because a wide receiver, I'm not listening to a wide receiver if I'm a quarterback.
Big Chuck, are you listening to a wide receiver?
Never. You know it's always the wide receiver, but the formula to win is running the ball. Why go away from that? The most important thing is to win, but we know A.J. Brown, he's about his numbers, but it's always the wide receivers, Coach, always.
It's always the prima donnas, and we come to our resident prima donna, King Lettuce, Young Soupy. Your thoughts on this discord in Philadelphia?
Well, you don't even need to give AJ the ball anymore. Just give it to Saquon. I mean, that's all you need to do. He's dominating the game right now. And yeah, it is a little confusing to me how the Eagles are winning so many games, playing such great football, and they're having these locker room woes, if you must. And yeah, it's just a little interesting to me.
Yeah, it's like first world problems. They haven't lost since September, and they're bitching about a few things. Enough. And by the way, for those of you that don't like the shot, I just took a young Peyton. His family goes to Beverly Hills to get their hair cut. That's all I need to say. Now, we've got a few more housekeeping issues to get to, and then we made it through this damn day. I'm proud of us, and I'm proud of the crew. If you weren't here at the top of the show, it's okay. We got you covered a little something we call the whip around. So, producer man, I need to see the screen. Big Chuck, we're going to start with you. 10 seconds or less. One nugget on each play. Let's go.
Champions League, Atalanta, Real Madrid. The both teams are scoring over 2.5, with Atalanta averaging 3.1 at home and Real Madrid 1.8 on the road. And the Atalanta first half team total over half a goal. They average 1.6 first half goals. Club Bruges and Sporting, I'm going to go with Bruges. First half team total over half a goal as they average one goal at home during this current campaign.
Both of those games, 3 p.m. Eastern time today in the Champions League. DG, let's go.
I'm going with the Sinners in the same game tonight in the NBA Cup. I'm going to Isaiah Hartenstein to go over 3.5 assists at minus 130. Then we're going to go with Derek Lively over 1.5 assists at minus 113. Both have great matchups, and I expect both to cash tonight.
And if you didn't know, they're boys. Big Soupy. Let's go.
Mavericks plus 4.5. All they need to do tonight is draw fouls, be aggressive, and they will beat the Thunder again. Avalanche going against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh last in goals allowed, shots allowed, and the Avalanche are transitioning goalies. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game.
I'll get back to that in a second. King Lettuce, your attempt, sir?
Minnesota Wild puck line tonight, minus 1.5 at great value over plus 210. The Wild are coming off a rough 4-1 loss in LA against the Kings. They're 11-2-3 on the road, where the Utah Hockey Club is only 4-5-2 at home. I'm also going to go over the NBA Cup game tonight. Mavericks Thunder total points over 231 at minus 112. These are the two best offenses in the West when they're healthy. The Mavericks have been shooting the ball well during their 7-game win streak, and I like the Thunder scoring the ball tonight as well.
Very good. All right, Mr. Rafael Esparza.
We're going to college football on Saturday. Give me the Army Black Knights 2.5 touchdowns over plus money on this one. No weather is going to be involved, so I think the Black Knights are going to be able to run the ball all over Navy like Notre Dame did. And then in the NBA, give me the Greek Freak Giannis over 46.5 points, rebounds, and assists minus 110. Last 3 games, over 30 points. Last 3 games, double-digit rebounds. I'll take this 46.5 over.
All right, very, very good. And we do not have the results yet. Keep voting, and we'll release the odds and who we're rooting for today with the Howie Schwab Crew Play of the Day. But we still have Raphael's stat of the day. With Raphael, today is what?
Tuesday, and there's no AB, so I can make fun of his team since there's no AB today. We're going to Tennessee Titans this year alone. 2-11 against the spread, and their last 6 home games, they haven't covered a game.
Say that one more time.
The Tennessee Titans, or I should say the AB Titans, are 2-11 against the spread this year. And at home, they're 0-6 against the spread. The Bengals are -5 in Tennessee this week.
Very interesting. 2-11 against the spread, which coincidentally is the same record that Soupy has against his own takes. DG, any reaction to what we just heard in the whip around?
Yeah, that Bengals, they're gonna be scoring like crazy. There's no way that a Will Levis led team is gonna be able to keep up with them. The 5 looks good. I would assume that they win by 10 plus. The Bengals do. So this might be a line you get early.
I literally just served you up on a silver platter, and you went to the stat of the day. That's what you decided to do.
Professional coach.
He
Professional.
knows where it's at.
He made a picture with his face on the rock, and he's talking about being professional at the end of the damn show. Oh, so disappointed in you, DG. But thank you for filling in the last couple of days. Thank you to all of you. Strong numbers across the board. Thank you to all of you for finding us today, because not every day is going to be perfect. But you know what we're not going to do? We're not going to complain. We're not going to sit up here and say, hey, woe is me. We just get the job done. So understand this is time for you to go out into the world, for you to pay it forward, and understand there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know, as I get ready for Wheels Up, what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these Tuesday and, well, Raphael, Saturday tickets straight to the way window. Right, Tiger, love wall. my man from the Dirty Big Chuck, Raphael, my numbers guy, Soupy, sort of, Peyton, DG, producer man, who did an amazing job. I'm simply the coach, trying to keep this train on said track we grind for you, so we can win with you. It's truly what we're all about every single day, right here on DTL. Good luck.